Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dokkan Battle video, and today we're going to take a look at Rainbow Dokkanfest Raditz. So once in a while I will do a random showcase like this. The reason why this is I usually do like kind of more newer units or like modern Dokkanfest, like as I rainbow them. I like to do a 100% showcase on them. So I finally just rainbowed Raditz on the God Goku banner. So I figured let's go ahead and take a look, because I really haven't taken a good look at him myself. I've just always been like, yep, he's bad, never really used him. But maybe he's not as bad as people say. Maybe he's not really bad. Maybe he's just mid, or maybe he's actually good. Maybe everybody's underrating this guy, right? So let's see what he looks like here. I've never really like properly used him, so that's another reason I want to do the showcase. His leader skill is actually pretty good. He's got Saiyan Saga. Saiyan Saga is like a throwaway, but pure Saiyans and then the extra 30% coming to Space Traveling Warriors, like that's pretty decent. It's pretty much going to hit like all the Turles units and stuff, but I mean, the fact that he's pure Saiyans 170, that's just a huge roster, and then you can get definitely some decent Space Traveling Warrior units on there, right? His super attack effect is greatly raises attack and defense for one turn and does supreme damage to all enemies. So he's an AoE unit, right? And I think one of the reasons why his kit maybe isn't as good is Dokkan has this weird thing where there are certain abilities that they're afraid of, or they like way overvalue, and AoE is one of them. Units that have AoE, they just really cripple them because they're like, oh, you can do AoE damage to everybody, so we gotta like make sure you don't attack too much or whatever. But they don't realize we barely ever do AoE fights, so you're basically killing the unit if you're not making them good, right, against single target. So that's part of it. Another thing that they overvalue is like healing. Like units that heal usually get like really shafted and don't have great kits. There's some exceptions to that, but like the Tech Super Boo EZA is like the best example of a unit that's just terrible, god awful. Sure, he heals, but he does like no damage, and it's like not defensive or anything, right? But anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Back to Raditz's passive here. He gets attack and defense 150 at the start of turn, an additional attack and defense 50 while performing a super if you're facing one enemy. And then if that enemy's HP is 50% or less when you perform the super, then you get another 100% attack. So that part of the passive is really bad in my opinion. So I like the idea that they're giving him more stats against one enemy. That's what you have to do for an AoE unit. That's what I always talk about for AoE units. If you're going to shaft them and like give them less damage against multiple enemies, then you got to give them a buff against single target to make it worth using, right? The thing I don't like is that he has a huge chunk of his attack locked behind the HP of the enemy. So if the enemy's at full health, he's going to do way less damage. He's meant to do like the finishing blow on the enemy, I guess. So they have to be below 50% HP, and he gets an additional 100% attack. So we're going to see some major fluctuations in his damage depending on the health of the enemy. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. He has a high chance of performing a crit. So basically if they're below 50%, he has a high chance to crit, and then he gets the big attack buff, right? Then he performs a guaranteed crit within the same turn after receiving an attack, plus an additional defense 150 when facing two or more enemies. Now, the crit while receiving an attack, it's in the same sentence as the two enemies, so that might also be locked to the two enemies. We can maybe test that, because I literally gave my Raditz like no crit. So we'll kind of see like how much this guy is critting, and we can maybe determine that, because we're going to do a single target fight the whole way through, right? But he does get an additional 150 defense. I'm thinking that that's all for two or more enemies. So if you're in like a Super Battle Road situation, they're giving him extra defense instead of attack, and then they're giving him guaranteed crits if he gets hit. And then what he gets is he gets key +2 for the rest of the battle after doing a final blow. So the two things that are bad about that is final blow mechanic is terrible. Like, we all hate it. We hated it on Rose. We've hated it on other units, right? And then just getting 2 key from it on a TUR, like, yes, key can be good on a TUR, but it's more important for LRs. So he's got a bad mechanic, and he's not even getting much from it. Like, 2 key on a TUR like this really isn't that impactful. I would rather him get more stats, more defense, give him guard, give him damage reduction, something like that. But there are definitely like huge holes in this kit, like just on paper, that don't look great. But let's see how it transfers out. Let's see what his numbers looks like. He does have an active skill as well. You have to be facing one enemy after you receive an attack 3 or more times. That's already a problem. This is a non-defensive character that wants to get hit to get his active skill. I don't like that. Greatly raises attack, does ultimate damage, and stuns. So the guaranteed stun is cool. Once again, he's got a lot of like Super Battle Road stuff in it, but like Super Battle Road is something, I mean, I know some players like to play it a lot for fun, But the problem with like being good in Super Battle Road, typically there's stages you do once and then you never play them again. For most players, like some people like to go back in, but even if you like to go back in, the stages are super limited on team comps. Like you have to run specific categories. So it's not even like a fun place you could just go into for fun and like try out different teams and stuff. You're going to be very locked to certain team comps, which I don't like. Now, if they built something that was like Super Battle Road, I've been calling for this. Like, we need something where longer events, something with multiple enemies, and something where you can do status effects that is not Super Battle Road, where you can just run whatever you want. I think something like that would be a really good event for this game to have, right? So you can see, here's my build. I went full dodge on this man, 27 dodge. I went no crit, 'cause he's got a bunch of built-in crit anyways. And then he's just got like 11 additional. So I just went full crit on this guy. He has full level 10 links. All right, let's check him out. So 165k defense. By the way, from a unit that wants to get hit to get his active skill, sure. He does greatly raise attack and defense, but even at that, he's going to be, what, maybe not even 300k defense at that point, and he's not guarding or anything. He does get 50% more on super. Okay, so post-super, he probably would be over 300k defense at least, because he's got a bump there, and he's got it on super attack effect as well. But start of turn, like slot 1 is really not the place for him, and he wants to get hit, which is unfortunate. The thing is him getting hit, it's not like a huge part of his kit, it's just for the active skill, which if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. It's not a big deal. But look, Raditz is starting off only needing 2 keys, so him getting the extra 2 key for the killing blow really doesn't matter. Like, it'd be pretty rare that you don't get the super. 3.5 mil. Woo! Raditz, chill, my boy. Wow, like, okay, I'm gonna be honest. I actually went into this like wanting to be optimistic. Like maybe people hate on him too much. He's not that good. But this is like this is a 2022 Dokkanfest. And he just spit out a 3.5 million attack stat. And this was like, okay, he wasn't linked the craziest, but he had 2 links with a support unit. So he was getting support there. I mean, we're going to get him linked up better. Now, obviously, like, that's where that 100%, when the enemy is below 50% is huge. But, like, that's too much damage locked behind that HP restriction. I'm just never a fan of HP restrictions to begin with. But to give that much, what would have been better is maybe if they put the 2 key behind that and you can give them the 2 key there and then give them the 100% attack somewhere else. Probably not for getting hit 3 times, but I don't know where they would put it. That just seemed really underwhelming. Well, let's give him a chance. We got some more turns here. So we're going to link him up with Turles, which is actually one of his better linking partners here. We're going to get 4 links. We're going to try out our boy in slot 1. We don't want to risk Turles doing too much damage here. So yeah, 180 something K defense. This is double supported. And I believe, hold on, let me check the 50% requirement. Does it have to be if it's less when they perform the super? So let's try this. Let's put Turles in slot 1. Now, Turles is type disadvantage here, right? But if Turles can knock off a crit, we might be able to get 50% of his health gone. And then we could see Raditz with the 100% buff, right? Let's see what happens here. All right, yeah, Turles, if this crits, this will do some good damage. I still like Turles, by the way. I think he's very good. All right, so we didn't get lucky there, so we'll see him without the attack buff here. So 4.8. Okay, a lot better there now that we got some links. But still, dude, 4.8. And he's, like, literally, it's just that he has AoE. But he doesn't have built-in additionals. Like, he gets a little bit of crit, but... Honestly, what I'm getting from him, and I'm really trying to look at him, like, without... being impartial, right? I'm like just trying to take a non-biased look at this guy. He feels like I hate to say this, but he feels like a modern EZA of a bad banner unit. Like a bad banner unit EZA. That's what he feels like. Like when you get a banner unit EZA and you're like, you use him once, you're like, yeah, I'll probably never use him again. That's kind of what he's feeling like. Now let's look at this friend Raditz. Oh, actually, no, he's still above 50%. And all right. I was going to say I could attack with one of these other units and then see the friend Raditz, but the friend Raditz is also rainbowed, so they would be pretty similar here, but we'll just do it like this. I didn't want a soft reset. All right, 5.62. Once again, though, double supported, like putting a ton of support out there for him. And here's the other thing with Raditz. I did mention that he has like a nice leader skill. That was a crit there, by the way. Let me double check his crit conditions. Hold on. Well, the friend unit could actually just have crit on, though, too. Let me just check the friend unit. Does the friend unit have crit? The friend unit does have 6 crit, so looking at that wouldn't matter because that could have procced. Let's just do this. The thing with, Raditz, like, he does have a good leader skill, right? Which is cool and everything. Let's do Turles in slot 1 again, actually. And see if we can't... Turles here with type advantage should be able to deal some pretty good damage. We might still need an additional. Here's another double supported turn. 200k starter turn defense. Okay. So now we're going to get 50% on super plus the super attack effect. Like, he might be in, like, the 400k defense range, right? Like, so after super, his defense, I would say, is actually passable. But what else is Raditz doing for you other than having okay defense? Once again, it feels like banner unit levels of defense where it's like, yeah, he might be okay against some normals in red zone, but he's still going to get clapped by any super attack. And his damage is not there. Turles, we didn't get lucky, so still not under 50%. We're going to get in a routine where this guy's just never under 50%, but we might have to get it with the friend Raditz. Here's what we'll have to do. So 5 mil, like, it's okay. And here's the thing. You could say, well, that's good AoE damage, but the thing is he loses attack passive on AoE. So then when you get him in AoE where that would be good damage, he doesn't get it. So his AoE damage is probably still like 3 mil or something, which is like, all right, whatever. Like, there's so many better. You're going to roll in with STR Piccolo in an AoE fight and guarantee crit, and it doesn't matter, right? So I think part of Raditz's problem, for sure, is that, hold on, does he link better there, or does he link better? Oh, he doesn't link good with version Zigoku at all. I guess we'll do it this way. Okay, so let's see the friend Raditz here. Yeah, 180k. Sure, we'll let him tank tight disadvantage here and see how much damage we get crushed for. But let's see, this is going to be with the attack buff, actually. So this is the friend unit. But the problem with Raditz is they put so much value on the AoE, and there's just no effective place to use it. 6.5 mil with the attack buff. We've got units like okay, it's a Dokkanfest LR, but Orange Piccolo can spit out 20 mils, right? But even like this new TUR God Goku, he can, like, turn 1 when he's not even built up can do like triple 8 mil attack stats, right? And then you get him built up a little bit, he's doing triple 10s or something like that. Like, Raditz is like like, this is really bad. I'm sorry. The Raditz is justified. I gotta say it. Raditz is justified. Yeah, so we're settling in. Once again, this isn't like a 55% Raditz. This is rainbowed, linked really well, double supported. Like, as good as we can make this guy look, and we're reaching for 200k starter turn defense, and then, once again, maybe 400-ish k after super. Sadly, the defense is probably the closest thing to meta he's got, because these 5 mil attack stats, I'm sorry, this is what banner units are putting up. Like, the banner unit Tech Vegeta is putting up attack stats like this good, if not better, and he can multi-super, but he's got, like, guard, and he's got way better defense. And that's a banner unit Vegeta. Like, sure, he came out later, but not that much later. Like, this Raditz is considered a modern Dokkanfest. He's only returned once, other than like the Saiyan Day banner. He only had one like legit return on global, and the only reason we're getting him again so fast is because we're on a shared celebration with JP, and JP's happened to get him here. So this is like a modern unit that, like, he like came out around when Pan did, and Pan still hasn't even returned. So he's definitely not a unit that should be aging this much, right? But boy has he. Here's the thing: he started off aged, and we talked about this. Look, here's the banner unit Bardock, 266k defense, but also has guard and gets more defense on super. Like, this banner unit is putting him to shame, right? And this is a banner unit EZA. Really what this Raditz is, I mean, he's literally just a fumble. And what we talked about, I think, on the podcast when we were podcasting around that time, look, 4 mil, like, trash. Is that we think that his kit was probably designed and he was supposed to come out way earlier, and they didn't bring him out for whatever reason due to scheduling, and they just released him with like a 1 or 2 year old kit and just forgot to update him or something. Because this kit literally feels 2 years old, right? I think I just saw like Truth just did a showcase on Int Broly because he just got a 200% leader skill. That Int Broly's 2 years old, and he's like way better than Raditz, like insanely better than Raditz, and he's 2 years old, right? Sure, I guess we'll get another attack stat here, but so like even with the 100% attack boost, we're still only getting like 6.5 mil attack stats, like just not good enough. And sure, he's got a little bit of crit here and there. Who cares, right? Like who cares? Really, Raditz's best value, I suppose, is like World Tournament. But even in that aspect, there's still like way better World Tournament units. Because there are better AoE damage dealers that have like the built-in crits and stuff. So it's like, I don't know, guys. You let me know what you think of this Dokkanfest Raditz. But I think all of his anti-hype is legit. Like his hate is legit. Like I'm sorry. For what he is, he's really bad. Like this makes, like I said, he feels like a unit that would have been like released just like this same kit as just like a side banner unit to someone else, as like one of these bad generic attack units that we always complain about for banner units. That's really what this Raditz is. So anyways, you can let me know what you think if you love this Raditz or not, but yeah, he's going to go back to my box to collect dust. So anyways, thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.